we get into this? Because I know you want to talk about the fact, should the Golden State Warriors bring back one half of the Splash Brothers, probably the second greatest shooter in the history of the NBA, Klay Thompson?
So we put this topic in because you were talking about this on your latest episode of Brandon's World. So do you want to give a little bit of context on that?
So basically, Klay Thompson, who at the time in 2019 was just coming off the 2019 NBA Finals where he got hurt against Toronto. And Golden State gave him a max deal. And I said, in my opinion, that was a mistake. You did not think it was a mistake. And so here we are. And Klay Thompson has not lived up to that contract, in my opinion. He had the one good year, helped him get one more championship. But it was really not even him. It was Curry and Wiggins, in my opinion, that we just talked about, who, alongside Draymond were the catalysts on that team. And Klay did have his moments. But I just, coming off that ACL injury, Klay had an injury history in his career. I would not have given him the full bag that Golden State gave him. That's all I said. I would have, if you wanted to re-sign him at a smaller number, a 3-year deal, a 2-year deal, I just did not think he was worth the max contract.
I completely disagree with you. He has been an integral part of the Golden State Warriors dynasty. They would not have won the 2015 title, 2017, 2018, 2022 if Klay Thompson was not.
Before 2022 don't matter. I understand that he was, and I acknowledge it. He was a big part of it. He was on some nights the Stone Cold Killer. Remember the 11 threes he hit in Game 6 against Oklahoma City in 2011? Klay on some nights was more deadly than Steph. But
you mean 2016, not 2011?
No, did I say 2011? My apologies. The 11 threes in 2016. Maybe I just gooped up the numbers there. But tell me this, Josh. Since signing that lucrative deal 5 years ago, you know what Golden State's been? They've been the 1 year they won the championship, which they got breaks in that year, which Boston, and we acknowledge, has gotten this year. Outside of that, they've been, dare I say, irrelevant.
I mean, they got to the second round against the Lakers. We know what happened there, but they survived Game 7 against Sacramento, thanks in large part. I'll give it to Steph because he scored 50.
The second greatest game Steph's ever played. The best game Steph ever played is one, in my opinion, and this is where this is where you probably think I'm crazy when it comes to the NBA. I thought Steph Curry's legacy was on the line in 2022. He had a fine people before. People, Andre Iguodala won the 2015 one. Then people said Kevin Durant carried him in 2017, 2018. That was Steph Curry's finals, and he's down 2-1 against what at that point is still kind of a baby Celtics team. And Steph rose and shone and had the greatest game of his career, I thought, in Game 4 to tie that series at 2.
Okay, but Klay has, even since his injuries, he's still been an integral part of this Warriors team.
Oh, has he? They have fallen off the face of the earth. They had one championship. Take out the championship year. They've had 2 play-in tournament races. They've had obviously the second round game where they weren't even really competitive in that series against the Lakers, even though it went 6. And then they had 1 year where they missed the playoffs completely.
Okay, but
all I'm saying is all the 2022 championship did was extend the dynasty and make it look like it didn't die in 2019.
Which, I mean, then in that case, it did its job.
It did, and you can make the argument that Klay was worth it just for that, but I don't even think he was the second best player in that championship run.
He didn't have to be, though.
Yeah, but you're paying him like it.
Okay, but you could be paid top dollar and somebody else carries you for a playoff series. Is that the worst thing in the world?
I would argue, yeah, because my star players are supposed to perform.
Okay, but
Now
okay,
Golden State's stuck in the middle of nowhere.
sure, but it's not only because of Klay Thompson. It's
Well,
because of
Clay's a big part of it. If you get rid of Clay Thompson right now and don't bring him back, you could have flexibility around Steph. I would bring Draymond back at a very low rate because I think his value is more than Clay's, and everybody can debate me on that all year long. The value Draymond Green brings that Golden State team. If you don't know that, you don't watch the NBA. That's all I'm gonna say.
no. I totally value what Draymond Green has meant to the Golden State Warriors. Granted, I like to call him drama queen because everything that surrounds him, but we're not going to get into that. Before his injuries, and even still, Klay Thompson has been my personal favorite player on the Golden State Warriors because before his injuries, I thought he was the best two-way player in the NBA, offensively and defensively, because he matched. I remember, like constantly in the playoffs, he was going against the opposing team's best guard, whether that was Russell Westbrook with the Oklahoma City Thunder, Mike Conley with the Memphis Grizzlies. Um, he matched up primarily with Kyrie in the 2016 NBA Finals.
By the
Uh,
way, you paid Clay a 5-year contract for him to basically play 3 years, and this year sometimes he came off the bench.
that's just because that's what he needed to do for this Golden State team.
Well, he missed 2 full seasons. And I'm sorry, I don't care how much money you're making. I'm not okay with paying a guy however he made 30, $40 million to come off the bench. That just seems wrong. That seems like you made the wrong mistake.
Sometimes you had to make adjustments and you had to make
Yeah,
sacrifices.
you know why? Because we made a mistake paying you, and you got old, and you're not worth that money anymore. And Golden State is probably going to pay Clay because they are loyal to a fault, and we got to keep this dynasty going. It's over. Admit it. It's over. It may be time for a new voice. It may be time to get a new head coach in there. It may be time to move on from Clay. There's a reason why right after that championship, what did Bob Myers do? See ya. The architect of the dynasty said, I don't want to deal with the aftermath of this. Remember, there was talk after they won that championship of that championship being a Michael Jordan esque last dance because people thought they were going to blow it up then. And they said, no, we're going to try to run it back. And to me, that was another big mistake.
By the way, Bob Myers has been fantastic on ESPN since he's gotten there. I love the back and forth between him and Stephen A. Smith. It's fantastic to watch. I just wanted to throw that out there. Um, but I do get your point that Bob Myers jettisoned probably at the right time. But Klay Thompson still adds value to this team, even if he does come off the bench. Because
Well, here, well,
think about this.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Andre Iguodala in 2015, he was better than Harrison Barnes, and yet he saw the value of coming off the bench and how that would better help the team. I
He
think,
started in those finals. That's when the series changed.
yes, I I acknowledge that the series flipped once Andre Iguodala moved into the starting lineup and the Warriors went with the small ball lineup. I acknowledge that, but for a large part of the season, he was willing to sacrifice, even though he knew he was the better player. He saw
Well,
how well.
Harrison Barnes, he was a veteran at the end of his career at that point.
Okay, Klay Thompson is a veteran in his career at this point.
Do you think he's at the end of his career? This is you're not answering the current question. The current question right now is should they bring back Klay Thompson? If he goes to you, if you're the GM of the Warriors and says, "Hey, I want $30 million a year for 4 years," are you signing him?
Yes.
No, absolutely not. This is when grown-ups need to make grown-up decisions. You know what Klay Thompson's worth? And I'm dead serious about this. 1 year, $5 million. That's what
No
I'm bringing
way. No way.
Josh, he was a shell of himself by the end of last year. He couldn't shoot. His defense fell off the face of the earth. He had maybe one good game every 15 games and a one good game every night.
So you don't think he can get back to being Klay
No,
Thompson again?
not at all. He's those injuries, and it's sad to say because he tore both of his ACLs. Remember, back to back. He was working out, trying to get back from the one, and ended up tearing the other. He was shot from pretty much that point forward. He will never be the same player that he was.
He doesn't necessarily have to be, though.
He's not even 50% of what he was. There, I said it.
He's not even 50%.
He's not even
Are you
50%
kidding me
of
right
what
now?
he was of what he was in 2019. He's not even 50%.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Have you watched the Warriors? Because Corey, you haven't watched them.
Yeah. I have watched them.
You watched him brick shot after shot after. Have you watched guys blow right by him on the defensive end?
Sure, he's not the same level of defensive player he was.
He's not the same elite shooter he was. He's lost a little bit.
Okay, but he can still give you 20, 30 points a game.
Not every night. Maybe it's every 5 nights or every 10 nights. It's not consistent. It's not enough for me to pay him.
Again, sometimes he does. If he needs to be the 20 or 30 point man, he still has that in him.
Again, maybe once in a blue moon, maybe one game in a 20 game playoff. If you play 20 games throughout the playoffs, Klay will give you one of those.
And maybe that's the game where you need him to give that to
So
you.
I'm going to pay a guy $30 million to make one shot. Yeah, that's a smart business investment. Because I'm telling you, that's what Klay's going to want.
Why can't you try and get him on a cheaper deal? Not
what I just said. 1 year, $5 million. That's what
no,
I'm getting.
no way. Try and do like 15 at least.
In today's NBA, because the NBA salary cap is inflation, maybe. But I'm trying to make a big move. If I can move off Klay, and it would kill me, but if you could move off Draymond and get something for him with a better shooter, go ahead. They really didn't get anything for Jordan Poole, who's a lot younger of a player making nice money. They sent him to Washington for a bag of beans.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Paul didn't really add anything to the Warriors at all, so.
No. And by the way, him and Klay are about the same age, and they look the same. This Warriors team is old, they're aging, and they're done.
So should they – okay, so let me ask you this then. Should the Warriors move off Steph?
Steph is the face of the franchise, and I think Steph still has a couple more years left if I can get him a running mate. I think Steph has shown signs that he can still be the best player on that team and could win a championship if he had a better number 2.
Like who?
Well, that's a good question. Like, I think if you put LeBron and Steph together, that's championship team.
No,
I think if you took Kevin Durant, put him back to Golden State, that's a championship team.
No, duh.
I think Paul George and Golden State could be a championship team.
Okay, I could see that.
By the way,
I think it's more likely that Paul George goes to the Philadelphia 76ers.
By the way, here's a wild one. Joel Embiid.
What?
You heard me. Because if I'm the Sixers, I'm ready to move off Embiid.
And weren't you the one, those just recently saying Tyrese Maxey can't be the number 1 on your team?
Yeah, but I can't trust Joel Embiid, and I'm not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere if I'm the Sixers.
But you were the one saying you can't build around Tyrese Maxey.
I'd rather stink than go out in the first round every year or second round. I personally would rather bottom out than go in the first round and lose every year.
But if you're the 76ers and you can go out and get Paul George to pair up with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid.
I'm not even sure that gets you out of the East. Paul George has to stay healthy, and Joel Embiid I can't trust.
You don't think that's a championship championship
On
contender.
paper, it is. If we're playing NBA 2K, it is in real life. I don't know if it is.
You are one of the most skeptical NBA fans I have ever met. It is
Because I'm tired of getting burned by guys like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Joel Embiid. These guys don't stay healthy.
Has LeBron consistently stayed healthy throughout his career? No.
And he did for the first 17 years of his career. He never had an injury. Of course, Iron Man's going to break in year 18 or year 19. LeBron's had two significant injuries in his career. They're both in the back half with the Lakers.
Didn't he have a couple,
No, he never had an injury in Miami. He never had an injury in Cleveland. He took a vacation for 2 weeks in Cleveland when he first got back.
I could have sworn when he was in Cleveland, the first stint, he had like a finger injury or something.
Yeah, but he never didn't play through it.
I think he sat out a few games.
He never missed significant time. He never missed more than a month of action.
I'm going to look this up.
Look at, check me here.
Let's see. LeBron James injuries from Fox Sports. Let's see. April 26th. Ankle in April this month. Let me go all the way back. Let's see. 2017 sprained left ankle. 2018 groin strain. And then 2019.
Never missed a game with that groin strain, by the way. You remember he played all 82 games that year with the Cavs.
2019 load management, blah, 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 blah.
Joel Embiid only played 40 games this year for the Sixers. How can I trust that? He's oompa-whooping down the court like Andre the Giant.
And yet he still gave you a lot for the Sixers.
Did he? Because I'm going to the first round.
If Joel Embiid was not there, would the Sixers have forced the Knicks to a 6-game?
I would have rather been out of the playoffs than have to endure that. I'm dead serious. I'd rather get a better pick in this horrible draft.
But you just said it yourself. This draft is terrible. So why would you want...
you know what? It's not going to be terrible on most years, and I'm not going anywhere.
But why would you want a better pick in a terrible NBA draft?
Because you never know. You never know.